Why don't you just mention another I told you so, Geelong top 4?
Geelong top 4. You called it.
How'd that happen? I called it months ago.
You called it.
Everyone laughed at me.
I feel like we should get the first thing out of the way, the I told you so portion of the show.
Yep.
I mean, I've told you many things, but the thing I'm most proud of is that I told you that Jesse Tom Hogan was coming for the Coleman, and lo and behold, that boy got the Coleman.
You did tell me so.
Now we can get on. We'll get on with it.
Oh, you had to get that out of your system, did you?
I was holding on to that for weeks.
Yeah, I know.
We might as well just kick it off with the old Petracca drama. So what's the word on the street in Melbourne?
The word on the street is that he wants to go to a big club, so that would mean Carlton or Collingwood, I would say.
But there's problems there, no?
Well, Carlton's still in the finals, so they really can't say much, right?
Barely.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. The way I look at it, he's a top 3 player in the AFL, right? So I would believe that all the Carlton players would be on notice this week or next week when they play.
Yeah.
So that equals Harry Mackay, Charlie Curnow, because they want a big forward, right? So it's been reported that they want Harry Mackay for Chris and Petracca, and I'd do that in a heartbeat.
You would? Okay.
I would. Absolutely, I would.
Are you on Team Petracca? Has his brand...
I'm on Team Petracca.
Okay.
I think all this talk about brand and all that sort of stuff is just a ruse to get out. For 12 weeks, the club hadn't contacted him, hadn't contacted his family. There's been no contact, which is disgusting. A lot of people might not know this, but his younger brother, is a player agent, and he is signed to where his brother works. So he's 1,000,000% leaving Melbourne. Where he's going, I don't know. But, when people go, oh, yeah, maybe not, and, Melbourne, the delusional club that they are, keeps saying, oh, yeah, he's a required player, he's still contracted, so what? He's gone. I would go as far as saying he'll stay out of football for a year if he needs to.
Really?
Until they trade him. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine having a player who's able to play and not playing.
Right.
Doesn't want to play for your club. Melbourne, they're another team that's just, I fear for them. I really do next year.
I learned there's a new award yesterday, the Lee Matthews Trophy.
Yep.
Bont won the Lee Matthews Trophy.
Yep.
So then you have this whole Brownlow thing, which apparently the Bont is not favored to win. I think Nick Dacos is, right?
Yeah, Nick Dacos and Cripps, and yeah.
Then I just saw the Scully Langdon medal.
I don't even know what that is.
And then, I just made a little list. You got Best and Fairest, the Coaches Award. You've got all the awards within the clubs, right? You have the Rising Star. You have, why are AFL players so needy?
It's a participation league, If you participate, you get a trophy, right?
I thought Hollywood actors were bad,
They're bad, but AFL players are worse.
So which one actually means anything? Because it seems to me like...
Well, the Brownlow's voted by umpires.
Yeah.
Lee Matthews Award, I think that one is voted by the coaches.
Okay.
So that seems to have some more merit just around the traps sort of thing.
Okay.
I think there's a toughest player or something in the AFL. Who cares?
Okay.
Get rid of that one.
Yeah.
Or most courageous or something.
Why don't the backmen get any love?
Because they're backmen. They're boring.
So Will Schofield had to create an award, the Jack Buckley Award.
Jack Buckley?
Who would you think should deserve the Backman of the Year award?
I reckon Jacob Weathering's had probably the most consistent year of all the backs.
Although isn't Jerry McGovern the number one defender in the comp?
He'd be up there.
Did he just get Australian?
All Australian, yeah, he did. Which well deserved too. It's funny, the West Coast had 2 and...
Your boy Plugger is in there.
Plugger Waterman. I told you, he's the key to the Eagles, didn't I? I told you. If we're going to go to I told you so's... Told you.
You were, yes. Who is your tip for the Brownlow?
It's a tough one. Cripps, Dacos and Bontempelli, I know I'm going out on a limb there, but it's going to come down to the last round. They always were best on ground in the last round. So depending on where the votes go, Nick Dacos had 40 possessions in the last round. His brother had 40, Josh.
Yeah.
So it could be, if Josh gets 3 and Nick gets 2, that could cost him a Brownlow. But I also feel that Cripps has been the best player for Carlton all year and by a standout. Same with Bontempelli. So I know it's going to be interesting. I just hope Lachie Neale doesn't win another one.
I was going to say, I remember last year you guys were talking about this, and then Lachie Neale won, and everybody was like, How the hell that
Yeah.
happen? Like, where did he come from? So he'll probably
was a
get it.
mess.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, of course.
Makes sense in the AFL. Let's talk about a team close to my heart. Let's talk about the Eagles.
Yes, let's.
So there's a lot of talk about this coach's position.
No one wants it.
Well, okay.
It's a
So
fact.
thank you.
Everyone said no.
So here's the thing, my friend. I was just watching Simo on Backchat the other day. Yes, Will, I watch you all the time. You can stop ghosting me if you really want to chat. It's right now, Will and I are having a one-way relationship. But at any rate, Simo is a great interview with Simo. And he says that like the process was they have like a third party, like a headhunter. And the headhunter does all the interviewing and all the hiring, and it's all very closed doors. And so the fact that everybody's talking about everyone who doesn't want the job, I think is bullshit.
It's debatable.
Is it?
Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah, because I think the Eagles like there's no forward momentum. Like nothing's happening there, right? So
Yeah.
and it's very fickle over in WA, as you know. There's two teams, right? So
Yeah.
I guess the coaches or potential coaches are looking at that job, saying, well, you know, we've got 2 or 3 years, and if we don't do well, we're out of there, right?
Well, probably.
I mean, North Melbourne is the only other sort of bad team in probably the last 3 or 4 years. They're in a similar position,
Yeah.
and they went and paid a fortune to Alistair Clarkson, and that's not exactly working out great.
Right. Not yet. No.
So it's. I just find it interesting that the West Coast are looking, you know, getting external people to look for coaches, right? When they've got a board. So what do the board do?
The board will eventually actually interview the people, but they have, you know, like any high-end job, you know, at least here in the States, you have headhunters that go out and find, you know, the right candidates for the job, not just the ones that are being like tossed out, you know, with speculation from the other commentators, you know.
I agree, but all you need to do is go to 17 other teams and look at their assistant coaches, right? Everyone's got
Right.
3 or 4. It's them. It's not. I don't think Elon Musk is going to apply for the job, right? So
They could totally pull a Ted Lasso. I'm for it.
it might be the best thing for him, honestly.
Just bring it over. There's plenty of coaches here. They'll be like, that's cool. I got it.
Well, he hasn't signed on for season 4 yet, so there's a chance. There's always a chance.
What's her name? Carolyn Wilson.
Carolyn
right?
Wilson, yeah.
I heard her say something, and let me preface this by saying I've heard this from other people, but she said it on camera, basically that she didn't know if Schofield would get the job because he has tattoos.
Tattoos, I did
And
hear
they shut her down, so they moved it along because they thought,
That's
is there anything
disgusting.
to that?
If there is, that's a joke and it's embarrassing. It's 2024.
Right.
What have tattoos got to do with anything?
I mean, all the players are covered in tattoos. Why would you not
I
think
was
a
going to
coach
say,
is-
so if the best
Yeah.
player in the AFL's got tattoos, does it mean you ostracise him and he doesn't play? No.
So at this point, I mean, is Schofield even in the running, or does he get it by default?
I was going to say he gets it by default. Of course he's in the running. Like no one wants it. He's got to put his hand up.
So Andy, if you were, let's say, an assistant at North Melbourne, and you were offered the Eagles job, would you go?
Absolutely.
You would.
100%.
Well, okay. Now I've got questions. So if you would go, then why wouldn't these other coaches go? The so-called nobody who wants the job, why wouldn't they go?
Because when I see opportunity, I take it. They don't see
look
that.
at
They
you.
want the red carpet rolled out. Sometimes
like
you got to
it.
make your own destiny.
Okay, so here's just hear me out. So Dean Cox, for example, right? Is he really going to go, yeah, I'm going to take the job while his team is on their way to finals? Like, is that
he's
an
only-
appropriate time for him to come out and say, oh, yeah, I want the job? Or is it behind the scene like, psst, yeah, I'll take it. Just wait. Give me 5 more weeks. Like,
It's happened
know?
before where coaches have got the job and it's been up to the club and the person to either leave immediately or see out the final series and go. So
Yeah.
I think the Dean Cox situation's interesting because I think he thinks he might be the next Sydney coach because Longmire's been there like 15, 16 years. So
right.
they did the handover with Paul Roos to John Longmire. It was just a internal thing. Longmire was an assistant, so they just handed it over. I think Dean Cox is a successor at Sydney.
Okay.
For him to stay, there's probably been a handshake agreement. Next 2 or 3 years, he might be taking over, or else why wouldn't you take the job, you know?
You know, you say that, but obviously things get complicated when you have family. You know, the missus or the children could be like, over my dead body, we're moving back to Perth. Like, they live in Sydney,
yes,
you know, it's pretty nice, right? So, not that there's anything wrong with Perth, but you know what I mean? It's a different environment, right?
But one thing you don't want to do is regret things, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather give it a shot and be successful or unsuccessful at it.
Yeah.
And at least I can sleep at night going, okay, I don't have to think about, should I, shouldn't have I, you know, it's done.
Yeah. So I think we've settled it. I think the next coach of the West Coast Eagles, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew from Anklesar. Congratulations. Richmond. And it seems like there's a few people wanting to get out of Melbourne. What's going on?
The Richmond players, they've given everything. They've won 3 premierships.
Yeah.
Rioli, Shai Bolton, Jack Graham. That's fine. Good luck to them. They've given everything to that club, you know.
Yeah.
With these players, they finished last, right? So where's the upside? Whereas if they get all these draft picks, they can start the rebuild next year and go forward and have some excitement, you know.
So does Uze get to keep his job?
He does next year. Look, this year was hard for him because the year before Hardwick went and recruited Hopper and Taranto thinking they could win another premiership. So he sold the farm to get 2 players and then left halfway through, right? Which was, you saw Dusty retiring, you know.
So sentimental.
That's one thing that we do well is see off our retiring players. We do it so well.
Unless you're on Essendon.
Well, yeah, that too. And the buddy thing. Yeah, the buddy thing last year was a bit of a debacle. He didn't want to speak to anyone. He didn't want to say goodbye, and that's sad. Like, what about the people that pay your wage? All the members, all the fans have been watching you over the years. It's like as much as Dusty doesn't want to talk on there, he still did a lap and had a quick interview, and you saw the emotion in him. You know, it's like
the thing that got me was at the end when he was walking back to the locker rooms when he gave someone a hug, and it was like this long hug, and I was like, oh, Dusty,
broke your heart, did it?
A little bit, yeah. It was really. Yeah, and even Tom Hawkins and my favorite bartender Zach Toohey, when they were doing their goodbyes at Geelong, it was pretty emotional.
It is.
So how I love to make fun of some of the language that you guys use, the footy language.
Yep.
I was wondering if you have some favorite overused or horrible footy sayings.
Oh, there's a few.
I'll give you a second to think about it, but I did a little snooping. And for example, long and penetrating.
Sounds a bit odd, doesn't it?
Sounds a little dirty.
It does.
How about strong fist from behind? I'm guessing that's like a Stephen May move. I don't know, since he's the best fister.
You got it. Yep. Yes, he is.
What about he marks the ball at its highest point?
Highest point. Yeah, that's a fun one, isn't it?
Squirts out a handball. So gross. What do you got?
Back half.
Back half? Okay.
It's a back line.
Right.
He plays well in the back half.
Okay.
Breaks the lines.
Okay.
Stupid.
Loves a goal.
Who doesn't?
Seriously. Who doesn't love a goal?
Exactly.
This one is relatively new to me. That's his one wood.
Oh, God, yep.
Another sounding dirty. You guys are dirty. Okay, what about when they talk about their athleticism?
Yeah. I thought they were all athletes, but hey, right. Some are more athletic than others.
That goes along with their leg speed. Oh, this is a great one. That wasn't us.
Oh,
or
That's a good one.
That's not our brand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They were drinking Pepsi instead of Coke. I gotcha.
Speed on the ball. This one I've noticed that people get really stroppy with. This is the Americanization of your game with offense and defense. And you know who loves to say it is Jack Revolt.
Oh, Jackie boy.
The defense is how he says it.
Yep.
Okay, so did you hear that Kane Corns is now going to be the highest paid commentator? I think he's going to Channel 7 maybe?
I did hear that.
How do you feel?
I love it. He's very not very critical, but he's not scared to have a go at someone when they need, to be told sort of thing. So I just hate most of these other commentators just towing the line.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I mean, if it needs to be said, it needs to be said. And he's one of the ones that has the guts to come out and say it. So good on him.
But doesn't he also sometimes say things just to like stir the pot?
I think now he does.
Yeah.
He's figured out the game, right?
Yeah.
He knows his brand. Don't worry.
I love when he fights with
Sam McClure.
Sam McClure, that's who it is. That guy. Him and Sam always seem to like just go at it. Like they don't like each other. What players would you be most irritated to find out that they're going to start being footy commentators?
Patrick Dangerfield, number one. Even though he does it a little bit already.
Yeah.
He's straight and narrow.
Okay.
Can't criticise anyone. No one's ever done a bad thing in their life. No one's ever kicked the ball wrong. It's just, he's a clown.
Did they phase out Selwood? Because I feel like I didn't hear him that much towards the end of the season.
He's pretty average, isn't he? He's not a great one. I actually did like Tom Hawkins, believe it or not. I liked he was on a few weeks ago.
He's pretty well spoken, isn't he?
Yeah. I didn't mind him. I thought I wouldn't, but I didn't mind him.
I'm not going to take credit for this, but I saw the funniest comment on the interwebs. It said, Dusty Martin on the commentary team would be nice just to have a bit of silence now and again. Whoever wrote that is brilliant.
That's
for sure.
Pretty good.
So let's talk Hawthorn. They're picking up, as I mentioned, Hottie T. Barras. That's his official name. Barras Barras. Yep. Josh Battle.
He's signing with Hawthorn, yep.
Are they going to be unstoppable? What the hell?
They're pretty unstoppable at the moment. So the only thing that's holding them back is that key defender, and geez, Barras is going to be good for him.
It's going to be painful. It's going to be a painful year watching Hawthorn games.
I tried to, when I told you a few weeks back, I tried to get you prepared for it. So
I don't know. And I got to be honest, I dig the brown and gold. Like there's some retro feeling about like the Hawks uniforms, like compared to everybody else's. Like even the Eagles, they changed from the like navy to that kind of bright blue color, and the navy kind of is tough, and but I just don't think I'm gonna like him in that jersey. So
I don't think you will either. I liked Hawthorn for a long time this year. I was saying I really liked them, and they're just getting better and better and better.
So ladies and gentlemen, as several of you may remember, Andy had a bet that if the Fremantle Dockers made finals, he would have to eat 100 nuggets. So if Carlton had won, the nugget saga would have ended right there. Done. But they lost, and the Fremantle Dockers needed to go and beat Port. And sadly, they did not win. Sadly for them. I mean, I saw a comment, another great one. It said, all that Port and Freo had to do was just show up and not move. Then Port would have still been number 2, and Freo would have been in the finals.
It's amazing, isn't it?
So how are you feeling?
Oh, I feel great.
Feel great?
I think secretly you wanted to see me at 100. Actually, you said 200 at one point. So
a
few people want to see me get sick on camera.
Who are these people?
Well, I don't know. Subscribers. They want to see me suffer.
I'm happy for you.
Me too.
I'm sad for the Dockers and my friends who cheer for the Dockers. But for you, yes. I mean, at least that would be the silver lining of the Dockers not making finals this year. So
I said the Dockers and St Kilda, right? And it was so sweet to see St Kilda win the last 4 games and not play finals. I was like, it's all for nothing. Like, there's no nuggets being eaten here.
I think actually that you brought it St Kilda.
It's all a ruse.
I thought, you know what? Finish strong, man. You're professional athletes. Like, just because you can't win the finals, you can disrupt some shit, which is exactly what they did.
No, good on them. It was good. That's great. But next year's a new year, and I'll do the same next year.
Have you learned your lesson? Are you going to make 100 nugget bets in the future, or is there some other insane bet that you'll throw down for season 2025?
Ooh, I don't know. It depends who pisses me off in the off season. Watch your space, because I've got my eye on a couple of teams. All right, everybody. So I guess that's it for our little happy hour here in LA. I hope you guys have a great week off and gearing up for the finals. And Andy, thank you for coming. If you want to find Andy, you'll catch him at Ankle Sore on all the different socials. And have a great week.